Hello, I'm back in Georgia. Had a little bit of an interesting season in Colorado. A lot of bad weather, and did find some cool rocks. Not quite exactly what I was looking for. I left a good amount of it out there, actually. But yeah, I am back in Georgia. Here's the Etowah River. The banks are kind of high, about 10-foot banks out here. So if you're cruising along, it'd be kind of hard to see what's beyond the banks, especially with all this little river cane out here. People think it's bamboo, but it's river cane. And yeah, so from this point out, my videos are going to be a little bit different. I have not figured out how to edit, but I have figured out how to use the pause button. So my videos are going to be a little bit shorter, but a little bit more exciting and to the point. So again, if you were an explorer going down the river after about 1830 or so, 1840, somewhere in there, whenever they moved the river from over there to over there, it would be a little hard for you to see what's beyond the banks. And that's what this video is about. What's beyond the banks? Okay, so this is the original river bed. You can see the original river bank over there. It's a lot a lot shorter bank. So you're cruising along the river and you're looking up, you're looking over there, you're looking over there, and you look up and, well, what's that? Let's hop out of the boat and go check this out, guys. So you hop out of the boat and you go over here, you're looking up at these interesting rocks. And you say, what is that? Up there. Everybody take a good look up there. It looks like a face in the rocks. Well, it is in fact a face in the rocks that you cannot see from beyond the riverbank over there as it is today. Now, from what I've been told by a couple of different people, is that the Spanish were here for a little while doing some stuff before the Indians got kicked out of here, a couple of 100 years before that anyway. And the Spanish came out here and carved things and hid treasures and did a lot of pilfering and stealing of various things. And so they left that here as a marker of some sort. What marker, we don't know. But along the Etowah River here, there's been a lot of caches of gold by unknown levers of gold. Most of it's in Indian pots, but Spanish could steal an Indian pot and fill it up with gold and stash it somewhere just as easily. So, yeah, I've been doing a little bit of tree work up in here, so you can kind of highlight the big skull up in the rocks, which is obviously, a marker of like death. Like, stay away from here, you might die. But there's speculation that anywhere that this skull can see you, that you can see its eyes, that there might be treasure buried somewhere within that little bit of eyesight distance. Because I was over there looking right into its eyes, and I don't know how well you can see through these trees, but he's still looking at us. I'm a good 50 feet away from where I was. Let's walk over here towards this porta potty down here. Oh, wow, he's still looking at us. It's one of those like one of those sculptures or one of those posters that like looks at you as you're walking away from it, like a billboard. If somebody's staring right at you as you drive past, he's still staring at you. Well, that's what's going on here. Way over here by the porta potty, you see those two eyes, right there, two big black eyes of the angry skull. I'm over here by this porta potty now, and there's an ATV way over there. Yeah, that's as far as I've actually walked. That's where I actually am, and that's where that porta potty actually is. So now I'm gonna walk back over there. We'll see how far he looks at us going that way. Back over by the ATV where I've done my little bit of tree work. He's looking straight up, still looking straight at us. So I'll walk over here a little ways. Still looking at us. Walk down this road a little ways. A little bit of vegetation in the way now, but he's still looking at us. Right out there between a bunch of trees. I gotta find them right up at the top. Where's them eyes? I'm looking at my stupid little phone here, having difficulty, but he's right up there. Between those two trees, got trees covering his eyeballs. But he's still looking at us. ATV's way over there now. So, yeah. Angry skull and something hidden. Something somewhere. I'm gonna go look for a couple of possible spots now. So I'm about a third of the way up the hill. ATV's down there. A little bit of a flat spot right there. Another little bit of a flat spot right there up above me. Another little bit of a flat spot over here. And yeah, there's Mr. Skull up there. And you get up into these rocks over here, there's some caverns and other little stuff. And then even right up here, there's some little caverns in the rocks. Get up here. This is one of those times when I probably should pause the video, but either way I'll be climbing with one hand. But there's these little caverns and nooks and crannies in these rocks going all the way up. Some of them are covered by trees, some of these trees are falling over and they're ripping back big old lumps of dirt that are covering up these little caverns. There's no telling what could be down in these little caverns. Some of these little caverns could have like a false rock just crammed in there, covering up the real deal, whatever's really in there. There's Mr. Skull up there. You can't tell what that is by now. Something's wrong. And anyway, located a fissure cave a little higher up, and I will be making my way over there and showing that next. Here's a nice little quartz vein right here that this fallen over tree has peeled back and exposed. Quartz vein goes over there and comes out over here, goes around that way and disappears. It's kind of an interesting spot. You got this big old tree, probably a 200-300-year-old oak tree. And there's this nice big dugout flat spot behind it. And then there's a little flat spot right up there. Another little flat spot up there. Another little flat spot up there. And then going this way. There's another little flat spot right there. Going looking over there, there's another kind of flattened out spot right there. These aren't burial sites for people. These are obvious, strange, just bulges and flat spots. There's another big flat spot right up here. Go up here and check it out real quick. This big flat area that's even kind of dug out a little bit. This is a real soft spot I'm standing on right here. But also, as I'm told, nobody really comes up here and probes around or metal detects or anything like that. So, still making my way kind of around the corner from where the skull is. It's right up there. It's yeah. I don't want to show exactly where the Fisher Cave is, but we'll look inside of it. Okay. So here's an interesting little thing that I forgot to point out. Is this little triple point of rocks here that look like they've been chipped out by hand. Not as precision as the skull over there, but still 3 points coming out like that. It's got a kind of a weird look to it, and kind of weird that you'd have like something like that close to something like that. But yeah, a little flat spot over there, another little flat spot right there. You know, what does it mean? Okay, so I got up to where my Fisher Cave is at. Very, very holy rock here. Lots of little voids and divots all over the place, little cracks going way up into the rock, but not like it is over here. There's a crack going in there. I don't know how far. And then right here I got my big treble hook that I'm gonna use one day. I'm gonna hook it up to a stick. I'm gonna stick it in here and see how many leaves I can pull out of here, because it goes way back up in there. Can't find the back of it. And anytime I try to stick a camera on a stick back up in there, all I get is leaves. And then there's this real soft spot right here, right at the entrance. It was kind of soft. And then these rocks right here I kind of picked out because they were crumbly, but you could still see this triangular fissure going way back up in there. Something had a bird's nest up here with about grapefruit-sized eggs a couple of years ago. It looks like long since it has gone. But yeah, I'll show y'all a couple more things and then I'm gonna wrap it up. So it's also fairly widely known out here that there's a lot of treasures and caches and what have you that were buried within a pretty small, short distance from the creek. And this is one such area. There's a law out here east of the Mississippi that says you're not allowed to dig within 25 feet of the creek or 50 feet of the river. And, well, most people think that some guy came down in here and dug out the bank and then he got thrown out of here. Well, that's not the case. What I was told by the guy who kicks people out of here is there was a group of 5 Native Americans who came down here, built a big old dam right down there, and then dredged into there, dredged into here, and then came over here and did some dredging over in here. And they weren't upset that they were pretty much finished up and ready to leave, that they got what they were looking for, and they left. And I can verify that there was some form of cache of some sort, because over there, that little spot over there, I was digging, and that spot had my long tom set up, and I had that dammed up. I was using that as my recirculation pond, and I had my, at the time, friend Tony come over here and do some dredging around in here so I could have a dam right here and just run my long tom down into there and have settling ponds so I wasn't sucking up so much garbage out of there. Turn my head for a couple of minutes. Before I know it, he's over in here dredging. And in his cleanup, he got 2 balls of gold. One weighed exactly 1/2 gram and one weighed exactly 1 gram. They weren't nuggets. They weren't pickers. They were BBs. Manipulated BBs. So there was gold that was not natural that was found in this hole. And there's a map on a tree up there that tells all about this spot right here. This is a beechwood tree, virtually indestructible in nature. This tree right here, if I were to take this branch and do this branch is going to repair itself and it's going to keep growing. This tree can get struck by lightning 20 times a day, every day, and it won't die. You're not going to get rid of this tree unless you cut it out and rip up its roots. You cannot kill this tree. This particular tree is about maybe 350 years old. And right here is an Indian marking. That's a carving of a turkey. Turkeys walk around and dig. And if you were to walk straight down the hill and dig, you'd find those areas where those pits were. There's a couple of different maps on this tree. And I'm not going to spend too much time looking at the maps. But if you know how to read these maps, then they can lead you to a treasure. What I'm being told is an eye right there. And then there's a couple of just odd markings on the trees as well, but not quite as odd as some of the markings on the front of the tree. You got that turkey, and you got this map, and you got this map, which I'm not going to decipher because there's still other families' treasures in the area. And so yeah, somewhere out here where the miners hopefully did not dig, there's going to be a treasure site. Back in my car, and I'm having focus problems here. Okay, so yeah, that's why most people are out here, is just for the little bit of placer gold. One of the far left I found day before yesterday. Pretty nice little piece for Georgia gold. It's kind of dirty. I need to soak it in some peroxide or something for a couple of days, but yeah, that's a pretty decent little nugget that I got from my current spot that I dig at when I'm not looking for treasures. So here's where I'm digging currently. Got some nice creek action right next to the creek. Got my long tom set up. Couple of backup sluices for this muddy material here. But yeah, poking around right now, trying to figure out where the best spot is to dig. That nice nugget came from somewhere right in here, but just poking around, there's good rocks in the dirt waiting for me. Nice rounded rocks in there. And so yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed watching me use my pause function on my phone here. So yeah, give me a thumbs up if you liked it, and yeah, I'll be making another video soon. Thanks for watching.